Peace, family. You are in tune to another installment of the Completist video game review, man. This is for Red Dead Redemption 2. Anybody that's been following my podcast or following my group or Completist page knows that this is my second time playing the game. I wanted to create some content for the people, because this is one of the best video game stories, of this generation, you know what I mean? At least of this decade. But either way, it's just great. For all my OG Red Dead Redemption fans, man, from playing this on PlayStation 2 and the Xbox, and now moving on to the next gen after that, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, you know what I mean? And I'm sure it's going to get revamped on the next gens after that, the PS5 and the Xbox One S series, X or whatever. The visuals have always been great, even when the first game came out. It was, both games were kind of ahead of their time. Now, if you think about it, when you think about video games with great, big ass open worlds settings, no matter what the setting is, whether it's medieval, like this Western in the 1800s, late 1800s, whether it's fantasy world, whatever the case may be. This video game has given us some of the biggest and most exploring maps in video game history. Now, and it's kind of weird because of the setting of the game, you know what I mean? Because it's, like I said, it's set in the late 1800s. So, you would think that there really isn't that much to do. But there is a lot to fucking do, especially when you are in a damn near lawless society, you know what I mean? With a lot of people still stuck in their primitive ways, you know what I mean? Some people were surviving, a lot of people were surviving. But when you think about characters like Arthur Morgan and John Marston, man, and just the journey that got us here, it definitely can be overwhelming and tear jerking, you know what I mean? Because like I said before, this shit is a cinematic masterpiece. This video game is like a movie, you know what I'm saying? And not even talking about just how big and explorative the game is in general. It just has so much to offer when it comes to the story. Lovely missions. Missions aren't repetitive, and it's hard to explain. It's kind of like they had some missions in here that seemed kind of filler-esque, but they were still entertaining. Because, like I said, you would be surprised at what there is to do in the late 1800s. You know what I mean? It's not really hard to believe, especially for people who grew up in rural communities or just areas in general, farming, things of that nature, ranching, things like that. It's just overall just a great game, and I love the story. I love the progression of the story, the emotional depth, the action, the graphics. Everything is A1. Everything is so realistic. It's uncanny and just jaw-dropping. And I don't even want to get, like, how they like to make video game adaptations. Do not make a movie of this. This in itself is a movie, and it is probably the best Wild West movie ever. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. Because, like I said, it's been hella engaging, and then the game is really long too, but you wouldn't even notice it because it's so engaging and entertaining. You know what I mean? They have it's like around 8 chapters, and then you have two-part epilogue that you got to play, and it's just overall great, man. I honestly didn't think that it could be done, you know what I mean? There have been great games that came out in the last 5 years. Do not get me wrong, shit. Elder Scrolls, Hellblade, A Plague Tale, Horizon, Last of Us. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of, in the last 5 to 10 years, there's been a lot of video games with some great stories. And matter of fact, Make sure that you check my group page and my Completist page, man, because I'm gonna be dropping my top 20 video game stories, and this will be included. But like I said, it's not every day that you get a game as interactive as this. Anybody who played video games like Life or Oregon Trail, or things like that, they were interactive, with minimum visuals. But in this game, it gives you all that plus the visuals. You know what I mean? There is just a lot about the culture of America that a lot of people don't like to talk about, and they also dove into that as well in this game. A lot of racism, you know what I mean? A lot of capitalism, a lot of wars and genocide, pillaging, things like that. There's all types of stuff that happens in this era of life and history, and I just enjoyed it, and I want everybody to let me know how y'all enjoyed it as well in the comments. Yeah, it just was a great game, man. Great game. Great for looting. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of looting. You can hunt, fish. You do all types of stuff, man. And you see this Revenant, enactment. Yeah, man, you got to worry about bears, mountain lions, cougars, wolves. You got to worry about all those type of things, man. And it's just the game is very, very insane, and it's insanely good. And they really be tugging on your tears, man. They want you to cry. I almost did. But it's, that's what happens when you have a good story. Great character progression, great, just the overall setting, just the journey in general is what's most pleasing, because you see the good and the bad and the ugly and the beautiful and everything that the character had to do to get in and out of those situations. And Arthur Morgan is one of the best characters that I've had the pleasure of playing, and I honestly just feel like it got its love, definitely, but it needs to be put down as one of the greatest, or if not the greatest, story video game ever, because of longevity, consistency, repetitiveness, and just overall great graphics and great just interaction. Look, my man building a house, you know what I mean? And this was one of the best parts of the game to me. But I love it. The Completist approves. I get a video game a definite 10 out of 10. They didn't miss with anything in this video game. It was all great and pleasing. No complaints out of me. But love it or hate it, man. This is the Completist. I approve this video game. Go check it out. Make sure that you like and subscribe and share it, man. And make sure that you keep on gaming. Keep gaming. But peace, man. Remember, don't stress about the shit you can't control. Love yourself and love your family. Peace.